Okay, I'm going to cut my control surfaces now. In this one, on this Horten, I'm using the V2 drawing, and what it did on the version, I presume version 2, V2, is it eliminated the inner control surface, the inner flap, but it kept the center control surface. So that's what I did, and I only did it for simplicity. I don't need two sets of flaps. One's enough. And then the aileron, of course. The way I'm doing it is very simple. Just some scraps of plywood as my guide, and there's the two surfaces I'll be cutting. The one that's missing is this piece that went from here to here. Now, I don't think there's a need for that in my case. So let's get started here. Turn on the power, and this is my cutter. I've been using the same ones for years. I built them years ago. I have them up to, I have 3 different ones. This is the smallest one. I have it up to 5 feet. And I know exactly where to set each one, even though I test it each time. But here goes. Now, the most important thing, 2 most important things. When it comes to cutting foam, this is really important. Make sure you've got a good hot coffee. Oh, you can see the smoke from the last one, eh? And just turn it down a small notch there. And the second most important thing, when you're cutting foam, you need foam cutting music. There we are. Now, here we go. Not a lot of pressure required. Perfect. Right on. My table. Number 2. Oh. Here we are. I'll show you this. One thing I did was, even though I have a drawing, I don't know how clear this is, it doesn't matter. I have a good drawing, and I worked to the scale based on that drawing. But I adjusted it so that I wasn't cutting along a glue line. I moved it so that I'm cutting either above or below a glue line. I think it makes more sense that way. When I'm finished, I'm going to use plywood on these surfaces here. For strength, of course, but also to finish them. And on these, I still have to radius these yet. and then decide how I'm going to finish those. Anyway, that's it. As you can see, comes out very nice. I already have cut the first one, and it's just a matter of removing the screws now. That's it. Okay, I've been working on the drone Accord, or on the Horten, and I made a couple of changes. One was, I wasn't going to put the nose cone on. I was going to have that removable for access to the wheel well. But when I got looking at it, I realized I have more than enough access in here. And it's going to be a module that goes in when I'm finished, so that if I have to work on it at any time, it's just unplug it, remove it, probably a couple of screws, whatever. So I opted to put the nose cone on solid. The second thing I changed was the hatch. I wasn't going to line the hatch with plywood. I didn't think it was necessary. I figured it might stand up with a couple of coats of polyacrylic on it, or maybe even a few pieces of fiberglass, but I changed my mind. After pulling it in and out a half a dozen times or more, I realized there was a fair amount of wear. So I opted to fully line it with 1.5mm plywood. It took a lot more work because I had to get a good fit inside here, considering that the engines are going in here and this has to fit solid. So, as you can see, drops into place nicely, and that's that. So that's completed now, other than I'm going to use a pair of latches, one here, one here. The simplest ones I can find, and that should pretty much be it. Also, I've got a good fit, because this is a tunnel for the motors. I made sure I got a nice fit along here. It meant removing, well, basically 1.5mm of foam, front and back, and down the sides. But the hatch now lifts in and out, and it's a nice snug fit as well. So that was that. So that pretty much completes my body, except for the mechanical, the fasteners and whatever else I'm going to use.